Requests, a Python library that allows you to easily send and handle HTTP requests and do some crazy additional stuff like pass in query parameters, custom headers, post a multi-pair encoded file, manipulate response content and headers, redirection and history, timeouts, errors and exceptions, sessions with cookie persistence, Unicode response bodies, HTTPS, proxy, multi-part file uploads, streaming downloads, and much more. But first, what's an HTTP request? HTTP is a set of protocols designed to enable communication between clients and servers. A client is typically any device similar to what you are using to view this video, for example. The response of an HTTP request can generally have a JSON format, HTML or XML. For example, when you click on the thumbnail of this video, your device sends an HTTP request to YouTube servers to get the video metadata. Its title, comments, the counter of views, and the likes counter as well, which I hope is pretty high. And there is a lot of request methods, but here are the four main ones: get, post, put, and delete. But again, you will generally work with this two here. Get requests are used to request information and data from a specific server, and post requests are meant to send data to servers for further processing, such as updating a database. Alright, with that being said, let's get our hands a little bit dirty with some requests. The first thing you gotta do is open your terminal and type pip install requests or pip3 install requests if you are Mac or Linux. Pip is a Python package management system that comes by default with Python when you install it. This will install the request library in our machine, and we are now ready to use it. We're gonna begin by importing the requests module. The request library comes with a method for each request method. Let's start with the get method. Firstly, here goes the URL we're sending the request to. For example, let's pass the Python official website URL. And if we assign this to a variable and print it, we get this. Pretty strange. Actually, this number right here represents the status code of the request. 200 means it's okay. You can get the status code also by using the response.statusCode property. To get the response content, we're gonna print either the content or the text property of the response. They both do the work for us. And now we're getting this HTML here, because what we've just done is similar to what our browsers do when we visit a website. The server gives it some HTML to display on the screen. Now let's try with something else like this URL here, which when you run the Python scripts returns something similar to Python nested dictionaries and lists, which is JSON by the way. And there's a Python library that helps us to manipulate JSON formatted strings, which is the built-in JSON library. All you gotta do is import it and then pass the return string from the server to the JSON.loads method, which returns a normal Python object we can use later. For example, we can display the list's first item or manipulate the data of its nested dictionaries like this. And here we are. You can explore other response properties like cookies, encoding, headers, history, JSON, links, row, reason, request, URL, and much more. The next cool thing you can do is pass some query parameters to the request. The query parameters, by the way, are those here. The first parameter is k1, its value is value1, and they're separated from the endpoint with a question mark, and between each other with an ampersand. So to do this, we define a dictionary variable, we pass our parameters as k-value pairs, and we add the params arguments using our parameters variable. And this returns the HTML for the YouTube videos page. You can also change the headers sent to the server and use your custom ones. And just like parameters, you can do this by defining a dictionary variable containing all your header items, like your user agents, refer, connection type, cache control, accept language, accept encoding, etc. And then pass it to the get method through the headers arguments. You can also add some custom cookies, you guessed it right, the same way as before, just like this, and then pass it to the get method through the cookies arguments. So let's go now and check the post method, which is pretty similar to the get method, but this time you should provide the data arguments that would contain the information you're gonna send to the server to process it. Let's start by providing the URL, then define a dictionary variable. Here goes all of our sent data. Then just pass some random k-value pairs. Then pass it to the post method. And then we can, as before, manipulate the response contents and other properties. So that was the request library explained in less than 4 minutes. If you want to see more short videos like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Be strong.